Good morning, Asia. Hey, good evening, Asia. And good morning, USA. Hi, Rick.
Good evening, Asia. Good morning, USA.
Welcome to the TOT Talk Show. It is so good to be here again. This is the end of every month, and we promise, right, Rick, we promise that we will share our little bit of a contribution to the MDRT world and to the insurance industry in Asia every last Friday of the month, and we are here today. Okay, so we can see there's quite a lot of people on the show now. Let us just say hi to them. The first to came in is actually my good friend Savinder. Hi, Savinder. Let's just take some time to actually greet all of them. Hi, Indres. You know, Indres is the country chair for MDRT India. Hi, Indres. Good to see you here. So, if you guys could do us a favor, would you just click your share button on your Facebook and actually share it out with all your colleagues and your friends, right? Let more people come into the session, ask questions, and be benefited from the conversation, right? Rick, would you ask them to do that for us?
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing our content and enjoying our show. Right.
So, hi, Kennedy. You know, we have Fatima from MDRT Taiwan. She's here with us. You know, if you can hear me clearly, can you just put it down? If you can hear Rick clearly, let us know. Sometimes I do have a bit of a command that my mic is a bit soft now, but I hear myself pretty well. Can you hear me, Rick? Can you hear me pretty well?
I can hear you really well. Can you hear me okay?
I'm okay. I hear you okay. I just don't know that whether the what do you call this, the guest is hearing us properly or not. All right. So let's just say some highs to some people who actually came in early today. We have Jeremy Joseph. Hi, Jeremy. How are you? Share this out. Share to as many people as possible, right? And Brandon, share this out. Adrian, that's a joke, right? You look like an insurance godfather. Did I look like an insurance godfather, Rick? I think you look like an insurance godfather.
I look like the baby. The baby,
yeah. Right. And we have
like the grandmaster.
Thank you. No, you are the grandmaster. We have people from Indonesia came and join us. Like us, give us some like and some hugs, and share this out with as many people as possible. And we will really appreciate that. All right. So I wish I could say hi to everybody. I just couldn't. You know, I have to say hi to this guy, Mahalingam, my boss. He's the first country chair for MDRT Malaysia. He and Mr. Mohan started MDRT Malaysia. And we became who we became because of Mr. Mahalingam. Thank you, sir, for your hard work. And he's still very, very active after 11 years serving MDRT Malaysia. Right. Hi, Brandon. Thank you. You know, love to see Hazel with us. We love to see Mas Rose with us. Okay. So, great, you know, and they say it's loud and clear. Fantastic. You know, Rick, what happened to you recently? You've been busy, right? Tell us a little bit of your life in New York. What is going on in New York?
Wow. There's been a lot of things in our life. Recently, work-wise, we're in transition back into our office. So at Midas Wealth, we recently hired 3 more team members to assist our clients. Our kids are entering summer camp, so I have daddy duties where I'm driving them every morning, dropping them off and picking them up from school. Lots of fun exciting things and lots of sleepless nights, but ready to rock and roll. How about you?
I expanded my team quite substantially this month. We added another 3 more agents to our team. We added 2 more interns to help out our staffs, which we are a bit, which I can see that they are, they're really suffering with overloading of work. All the trainings and everything that they have to give to the agents and all. So we are expanding our team in a good way. More and more people, like-minded people, join us. And today we are not talking about us, right, Rick? We are talking about you, the audience, our fans outside who actually watch our show and listen to us every month. So today, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about, we're going to discuss about the books that shapes our mindset and made us who we are. And we will show the books that we read, the audiobooks that we listen, and also the podcast that we learn from daily. Of course, we will also share with you some of the seminars and events that we attend that shapes our careers. So today it is very interesting. We're going to show you all the books that we have read through our years. We're going to start from our baby steps from when we first joined the industry, and then until when we become MDRTs, and right up to what are the books that we read when we become top of the table. So we're going to share the whole thing. I'm going to share about 20 years worth of book. How many years of book are you going to share, Rick?
I'm going to share with everyone a week of books. No, I'm going to share with everyone all the years of books I've read.
Yeah,
so I think when we talked about this topic, we said that the average person reads 1 book a year. The average CEO reads 1 book a week. So the importance of reading empowers our mind. And although we can show the audience all the books we've read in our career, we decided to fine tune it to our top 10 each. So today we're going to go over our top 10 in no specific order, but what really helped us throughout our career to where we are today to get to top of the table.
True. And reading is very important. We got Fatima saying, hi Fatima, hi. We're going to say hi to as many people as, wow, Esther say hi, handsome. Man, you, I think, Rick.
He's definitely looking at you. You're in Malaysia with her.
Come on. So Esther say, I love reading. Yes, we love reading too. So we're going to start with the first book. What is the first book that shapes your mind, Rick? What is the first book when you started, and when you started this career, what is that first book that actually inspired you to do so well?
So when I came out of training, for us in the United States, I think training or reading or growing, it's a never-ending cycle. It's about being humble, having humility, and constantly learning. Although there was a lot of technical, practical training books, like the One Car System by Al Granum, which I believe is very popular and famous within the MDRT community. But the one book throughout my years that I've read, I would encourage the readers to start with, especially early in your career, is one of the topics we talked about. Simon Sinek, it starts with why. This book, just like a brief excerpt, talks about how great leaders inspire everyone to take action. I think for all of us, we need to find our why. It's easy to talk about the what, the how, but the why is difficult. And constantly our why is going to change. And I believe it's about writing it down. It's about thinking about it on a monthly, quarterly, annual basis and continue to grow and change your why over time. What about you, Lim? What's your first book?
I read Simon Sinek's book about 2 years ago. I'm a slow learner into this trend. So I read Simon Sinek's book, and then I used that to become top of the table. So I think our journey is right at the other opposite side, right? You read it at the beginning, I read it at the end. Not at the end, right at the point where I need to do TOT. Now, so my first book is this, by the legend of MDRT. Tony Gordon, it can only get better, right? In this book, I've read it. If you can see, it's quite used because I've read it many times over. Tony Gordon, it can only get better. And this book is perfect for all the new guys outside. If you're joining this business 2-3 years and you're looking for a breakthrough, your bottleneck, this is the perfect book to read. Why? because it tells you, Tony will tells you all the things, the fundamental things that you need to do to achieve your first MDRT. How many calls you need to do a day, what are the rate activities, the closing, the opening, your mindset towards your first MDRT, how to struggle, dig yourself out of the hole, if you're down, and all the practical things, about prospecting, about who to see, face-to-face meeting, everything. Practice makes perfect. And I read this book many times over. If you want the book, you can actually go on to, you can actually go on to MDRT.org. You call it the MDRT store, and you can buy this book from MDRT.org. Seriously, I bought this book from, I think somebody gave me, Tony Gordon came and shared in Malaysia, and I got this book from one of the seminars when he shared. So that's it, Tony Gordon, right?
Excellent.
Yes, Miliana is concurring with me. I also read Tony Gordon's book in my journey to achieve my first MDRT 2009. I read Tony Gordon's book when it's 2006, and I did my first MDRT using Tony Gordon. All right, Rick, what is your second book, Rick?
My second book, after understanding your why, it's really thinking big and believing in what's obtainable. I think oftentimes success, people like to think it has to do with luck, but it's not. So it's this book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So there's many versions. I used to have a much smaller book version, and the book is really wrinkled and destroyed. Missed a few pages when we had our dog back in the days. So this is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. What the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So it's about writing down your goals. It's about reading it every morning. It's about believing in anything's possible and thinking big. What about you, Lim? What's your second book for the readers?
Think and Grow Rich. I read this book a few years ago. My second book is actually a Taiwan, an insurance practitioner, Taiwan, an insurance manager from Taiwan called Geraldine. This is the guy, Lin Yusen. All right, Geraldine. This is one of a insurance tycoon and icon in Taiwan, and he has a huge agency in Taiwan. Now, 成功有捷径, there is a shortcut towards success. 50 golden nuggets towards success in the insurance world. So I read this book when I was a young agent. My boss gave me this book. My boss never signed on it. He just gave me and just asked me to read. And I read it many times over. It gives a lot of practical things and a lot of interesting, example, how to handle a client. Take example like this, 电话开发的技巧, how the skills, your phone skills, how do you actually call the client and make a good appointment out of a phone call. So it's all very practical, and some of the interesting part is like 媳妇熬成婆. This means how do you actually handle an objection when a mother-in-law doesn't want the son to buy, the mother doesn't want the son to buy a policy for the wife, something like that. So it gives a lot of practical ways to handle, especially the Asian culture. The Asian culture's problem of insurance objection and concerns. This is the book, right? So where to get this, I can tell you, I have no clue where to get it now. You can actually call this guy called Vincent Chi. Now, for all the audience out there, for Malaysians, all the Malaysian audience out there, now, do you know Vincent Chi, the guy who sells the insurance book every time in the seminar? Now, if you have his number, can you please put it down on the chat board so that people can call him up? I think the guy is still alive. People can call him up and actually buy some books from him. You can buy this book from Vincent Chi. If you have that number, please put it down into the chat. I can place it up so that people can contact with him. Now, what is your third book, Rick?
Awesome. Our third book is Principles by Ray Dalio.
Wow.
It talks about how he shares the unconventional principles of life and work, and talks about how he came from a very middle-class family. And as we continue to grow in our career and in our life, it's not really about how we how we approach goals. It's really about approaching things we don't know and about problems and how our principle and our values and how it comes to those places in life. So it's really important. I think as we continue to grow in our careers and our personal life, having strong principle values is very important, because oftentimes when you come across obstacles, you're going to start thinking, hey, how would I really approach this scenario? So Principles is our third book.
Right. Thanks, Rick. Now, I've got Adrian Wong. Thank you for putting up Vincent Chi's number. For anybody who wants the insurance book, you can get it from Vincent Chi. So my next book is still Geraldine, 影响成功, still Geraldine. I read Chinese a lot. You can get this from Vincent Chi. This is a super slim book that teaches you how to basically transform yourself to a super agent. So it has all the handling concerns, all the sales ideas and all that to help you to understand. It's very simple, very big worded, and very, very easy to read. Okay, if you read Chinese, it's fantastic. Geraldine, Ling Yusen, get from Vincent Chi. The number is there. Anybody, please call him and tell him to give me a 5% commission, okay? Tell Vincent to give me a 5% commission of every book he sold. So what is your next? Now, let me just give you another one from Geraldine. 步步赢, step by steps to success. This is one of his earlier book when he was younger. This is specifically for insurance agents and not for managers. I have a book about managing, but this is especially for agents. 步步赢, Ling Yusen. I think this guy shaped a lot of my thoughts in how to actually go around with my business in insurance. All right. Again, Vincent Chi. You can get it from Vincent Chi. Rick, next one.
Lim, your books are in Chinese. I can't read Chinese, so I could barely order half of your books.
Now,
my next book is by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. The only book you need to lead you to success. I think it's really important that when it comes to communication, this taught me a lot about just the way how people think and how to communicate with others.
Right. I have that book in audio form. Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Yes. So a lot of people ask me, Florence asked me, Renan, do you have any books in English? Of course I have books in English. All right.
Come on, guys. You can tell Lim's English is, it's okay. He probably doesn't read a lot of English books. I'm kidding.
So, all right.
It's like I don't read Chinese.
Now, okay, I'm encouraging all of you to actually put down your book list in this chat room so that we benefit together what kind of books you read, all right? And if you can describe your book even with a little bit of a description, I'll put it up onto the screen. Not too long because the screen can't hold so many characters inside. And encourage other people to read, okay? Now, my next book is this. I do a lot of business insurance. That's why when I first decided to do my MDRT, I decided that I would go into the business market. So I went on and bought a book from this guy, Lim Yong-shun. Same thing, you can get it from Vince Chi. All right, Lim Yong-shun, Business Keyman Insurance. This book is written in the Malaysian context. It's written with a Malaysian law in mind. So this book teaches agents how to actually do business insurance. So it has everything called partnership insurance, Keyman corporate insurance, how to calculate how much Keyman insurance you need to buy, what is the reason behind every corporate to buy business and partnership insurance, stocks floating policies and all that, which is pretty interesting, okay? Where can you get him? Vincent Chi. Call Vincent Chi. He has this, okay? Business Keyman Insurance. You can screenshot this so that you can actually ask Vincent about this. All right, next. Rick.
Our fifth book is Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. I think in this business, in one of our earlier recordings, someone said, when we joined this business, when it comes to communicating with our clients and prospects, sometimes our pride gets in our way. I think having an ego is important, but at the same time, your personal ego can really become your major obstacle in this career and in life. So Ego is the Enemy, great book to read. I read this earlier in my career, especially when I was a young man, and I feel like an old man now, but it talks a lot about how we grow and how we look at life in a different perspective.
Great. Thanks, Rick, for sharing that. Now, if you can see, me and Rick, we have a very separate kind of reading habit. He reads a lot of mindset, about principles and all that. I read a lot of technical books. So the next book is also a technical book. It's called The Feldman Methods. This is by Ben Feldman, a MDRT legend. Ben Feldman still holds the highest record of the largest insurance, largest amount of premium collected a year, I think, for insurance policy. He collected 100 million one year in premiums. So the Feldman Methods teaches how to do life insurance, business insurance, and everything that comes with it in very simple way. This is the Champions of Insurance Salesperson, and I read a lot of his book. And where can you get this? You can get this at MDRT store. Go online, get it from MDRT store. MDRT USA will send you a copy, the Feldman Methods. All right? Next.
My next book is Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. As you guys can see, just kind of zoom in. I remember very early in my career, I had a senior advisor gave me this book. And when I read the title, I was thinking to myself, how does this have to do what we do? But in regards to, it talks about your unconscious mind, improving your self-image, learn to use your positive past, set and achieve worthwhile goals, develop compassion, self-respect, and forgiveness, cultivate the power of rational thinking, and discover the key to a happier and more successful life. So, Psycho-Cybernetics.
Right, fantastic. It takes a lot of brain cells to read all these books, right, Rick? It takes a smart guy to read and understand these books, right?
I guess when I was younger or earlier in my career, I needed to really shift my mindset starting at 21 years old. So all my books are mindset, less technical and more fundamental.
Right. So please list down your book down there. And if you have friends that wants to join the session, please share the links with them. And we are more than happy to have them here and we learn together, right? We are learning from our audience. They are putting all the books they are reading. The Fifth Discipline by Peter Senge. I'm going to check that out. Anthony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within. I have that books as well. So my next book is still a very technical book. It's by Sandro Forte. This is the book when I was MDRT already and moving to COT. Sandro came to Malaysia to teach a session, Dare to Be Different. And he was actually, I won this by answering a question during his class. So Sandro was actually giving out this book to anybody who answers, so I won this book. And this is very good. It is mind-changing. It gives you action steps by steps, how to move from a MDRT towards the next level. The route to quality business, the route to attract quality clients. How do you actually make a phone call to attract and get an appointment with a high net worth client? So this is very interesting. Sandro Forte, Dare to Be Different. How to get the book? Just go to sandroforte.com and you can actually order it from there. All right? He will send you a copy. Okay? Next, Rick, your turn.
Keeping the Trend Alive, Dale Carnegie. How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. So just doing what we do on a daily basis. I think most people, one of our sessions, I shared that I believe the average person has 7 negative thoughts a minute, over 400 an hour, and over 10,000 a day. So How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie.
Wow. Dale Carnegie actually lives in the first half of the last century, right?
Correct. I believe so. Yep.
Yeah. But his books still last. So now we have a lot of
Human
people.
behavior is still the same.
Yes, it is wisdom that lasts, like Socrates and all that, you know. So my next one is about building a team around you. The dream team staffing model that creates instant role clarity. When I did my first MDRT, after my first year of doing my first MDRT, my second year I start hiring staff. I can say the first MDRT was done by me 100%. It was my hard work. But my subsequent 12 MDRTs, 4 COTs, and 1 TOTs is not all about me. It is a dream team I assembled throughout the years that helped me serve my clients very well, being very effective in serving my needs and my clients' needs. And I dedicate all my COTs and TOTs and the rest of my MDRTs to this group. By how? I attended the first MDRT meeting and I got this book. It's called Staff to Last by Laura Fazzarati. This book teaches MDRT members how to hire staffs. What is a paraplanner? What is a client concierge? What is a office manager? What is how to write offer letters? How to communicate with your clients? It teaches you how to build a dream team for specifically an insurance office. So if you want to buy this book again, MDRT.org, Lauren Farazati, Staff to Last. All right? Rick, your turn.
Our next book is a book that I read recently. It's called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. So what's really special about this book is there's so many odds that was defying the odds in his life. Growing up, his family situation wasn't the best as he grew up in a single family. Later on, he was trying to join the Navy SEALs, but when he tried to join, his weight stopped him. Physically, it was impossible, but he controlled his mind. He was known, of course, becoming a Navy SEAL and becoming one of the toughest men on earth. So Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins.
So now, thank you, Rick. You read a lot of different books. I'm gonna buy your book list and read and become you, so that hopefully I become as handsome as you, Rick. So the next book I read is when I bought from MDRT is Office Efficiency. Again, I was building an agency office, so I read this book. I bought it from America. It was USD $30. It is still USD $30 after 10 years. So Office Efficiency, it gives you all the charts, all the interesting systems that you need to. This book is all about building a systems around offices so that your insurance agency or your insurance officers can run sufficiently. Now, to tell you the truth, guys, first MDRT, you can do it yourself. Second MDRT, you can do it yourself. But your third, fourth, fifth, you want to go COT, TOT, you need a team. You cannot do it yourself. You will die doing it yourself. All right? You will burn out. You will leave the business. All right? So, correct me, am I wrong, Rick? Do you agree that you need a team to build TOT?
Absolutely. I think the very few that achieves TOT without a team, it's not sustainable. Or there's a big amount of luck instead of consistency. And I don't know about literally dying, but it might destroy your personal, your professional, your life. And realistically, 24 hours is not enough time in a day. Having a strong, powerful team will get you further. There's a saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. I believe that's the quote and saying.
Yep. You need a team to build towards COT or TOT. Right? You don't want burnout. Rick, your next book, Rick?
My next book is a book called Winners Never Cheat. And sometimes when I read these last names, hopefully I'm not butchering them. John Hutzman. It's a really good book that talks about self-made billionaire, speaks about honesty, and generosity. Winners never cheat. I think it's very, very important what we do. It's about integrity. It's about being a fiduciary. It's about doing the right thing, not just once or twice. It's every single time, publicly, privately. Winners never cheat.
Winners never cheat, right? I love it. I love that topic. Rick, where can I get it? Can I get an EPUB or something? Somewhere?
Oh, you could get it probably on Amazon. These are some of the books that I had for a while, but to be frank, I'm very OCD. You guys could probably tell or cannot tell. Once the books I read gets a little worn out or has stains on it or for whatever reason, I actually order a new one because I just cannot stand being as OCD as I am. But many of these books I think you can order or they might be sold out already.
Yeah, you can actually always buy an EPUB copy from Amazon. It's fine. So the next book I'm going to say, no, before I go on to my next book, I'm going to ask all of you, if you have questions, please ask us now so that we can put it aside into the favorite comments, and later on we'll answer them, firstly. And secondly, can you please share this session out to all your friends so that more of people and more of Asia can come in and join us and have a good time. So any one of you, if you have any comments about books that you read, please put on the books and let us know what you read, okay? So that everybody can learn. My next book is also from MDRT. The MDRT Guide to Top of the Table. That's my secret. 呢個就係我嘅武林秘笈啦，我嘅紅龍18掌。Rick is Rick is Cantonese, so she understands what I'm saying. This is my secret book. My secret book towards top of the table. Yes, I can tell you why. Because this book is not written by one author. This book is written by experience and a snippet from the top of the table meeting for more than 40 years. And they condense everything into one book and teaches you the guide towards TOT. When I saw this book in America, I think it's in New Orleans or somewhere. I think it's probably earlier. I grabbed it. This is like the last copy on the table, so I just grabbed it. And if you ask me, yes, it teaches me a lot. So one of the chapters I just read out. Chapter 7 says, cease, delegate, or leave behind. This is exactly what I do. Cease means if the job is so important, you do it, cease it. If it's not that important, somebody can do it for you, you delegate it. Or if it's not important, just leave it behind. Focus, and focus. All right? So next, Rick.
My last book is, after you have read those 9 other books of MindSet, the last book is, I heard him speak, which was excellent, is Tim Grover. I believe he was the coach for Michael Jordan and the late Kobe Bryant. Relentless, from good to great to unstoppable. I believe no matter who you are in life, no matter what skill level, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Tiger Woods, the best of the best in their own respective industry field, they all have a coach. So there are many different coaches. Relentless, good to great, Tim Grover. After I heard him speak at a conference, I immediately bought his book and I read it and it was excellent.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy that Relentless. All right, I'm gonna buy the audiobook. So Sadiq Dirani, I'm just gonna poke fun at Sadiq, our good friend, right? Sadiq. He said, I hate reading. What's the best way forward? Sadiq, I'm gonna answer you later. What's the best way forward? Sadiq is a 17-year top of the table member, and he tells us he hates reading. I wonder why, right? Now
he doesn't have time.
Do you know that Sadiq is a prolific footballer? He plays. He plays football with some of the best football players in the world. So, as usual, I'm very technical. I read books like this. I do a lot of insurance trust for clients, trust and financial planning. And I can tell you, some of you will be bored to death because this is like a financial planning textbook. What I read it because I needed the technical knowledge and skills to underwrite a insurance trust. So that's why I read it. And it did help me close a lot of big cases for doing insurance trusts. Right? So this is Malaysian. This is Ong Eugene. Where can you get it? Get it? Popular Bookstore. You can get it in Popular Bookstore. All right? Next, Rick. Are you done with your book?
I think that I'm done with my 10 books, but I decided to give a little one extra book to the audience because many of the audience members may be leaders of their agency and their team. So back then when I was a managing director and I had a team of almost 50 people in our office, what I read and one of the best books that I read was Simon Sinek. I started with Simon Sinek and I ended with Simon Sinek.
Yep.
It's called Leaders Eat Last. Leaders Eat Last. So this is a book that when I was a 25-year-old managing director, there were many people in my office, many much older than me. After reading this book, it allowed me to understand that being a leader is not being a boss. There's a big, clear difference. It's about being a selfless servant leader, serving not only your clients, serving your team, always inspiring, believing in them when they don't believe in themselves, helping them with accountability, and helping them achieve their greatest potential and goals. So Leaders Eat Last.
Leaders Eat Last. Okay.
Is my last book.
Hey, sorry. I just got hanged with some controls here. No problem. Okay.
No worries.
So
while you're doing that, let's get more questions. I see a large amount of questions.
Yes.
And then after we go over our book list, I can't wait to answer the audience question. Don't know if we have time like last week to do our phone call round, but if we do, great. If not, we'll just answer all the questions for all the audience today.
Okay. So the other one is that I encourage all you guys to read is this, the $1 Million Roundtable magazine. Have anybody read this or not? You know, and we are not getting this anymore. I think we are still getting this in physical. So you know, where do I read this book, this magazine? I put it in my toilet. So every morning when I go to the toilet, you'll spend about good 15 minutes reading this through. Or when I was showering, you know, waiting to go to the toilet, I'll read this for 5-10 minutes before I go into the shower. So I've got a lot of this in my toilet. Actually, my wife hates me for this, for keeping magazines, especially a roundtable magazine in the toilets. But it worked. I read it. It worked, right? It works for me. So please read this the roundtable magazines, right? And I have
a lot of those magazines, but I'll never borrow any one of your roundtable magazines from you, Lim.
Yes. Now, Chloe asked us about podcasts. We will share about podcasts a bit later, and also some of the live shows that we watch and all that. Okay? So, talking about podcasts, I'm going to just tell you guys, the TOT podcast is live on Google Podcasts and live on Apple Podcasts. So, just go ahead, click the link, or if it's unclickable, it's fine. Just go to Google Podcasts and level, or what do you call this, Apple Podcasts, and look for us, the TOT Talk Show, okay? Look for us there. And when you see us there, subscribe to this, and you will get all the episode of every month, split into 3 sessions, and you can listen to the podcast, all right? The TOT Talk Show, okay? So one more book I just want to share. If you want to go ahead and do COT or TOT, or if you're already an MDRT member and you want to continue to qualify, I strongly urge you to read this. It's called Essentialism by Greg McKeown. This book was offered to me, was shared to me by Ian Green, the president of MDRT. So he told me, Renan, you should read this book, because it really brings down, it really clarifies your brain and your thoughts to doing only the very important things and enjoy the very important things in life and take away all the clutters. Right? If you have time, do this. Essentialism, Greg McKeown. I have read this. I've read it. I've listened to his audiobook many times over. Fantastic. Okay? So, thank you for people.
It's like the Warren Buffett advice. I believe I read one of his books or articles. He talks about how write down your top 10 goals, and once you've written it down and prioritize them, delete the bottom 8 or bottom 7, and just focus on the 1 and 2. The reason why is most people can't achieve all of those things and immediately. So it's just focusing really on one or two. So like The Pursuit of Less. I've never read that book that you recommended, but I'm assuming it's about just focusing on less than more.
Yeah. Rick, Florence is asking you, Rick, she's interested to have one book from you. Your book is coming up, right, Rick?
It is. We're working on it. We made some changes on some of the chapters as I'm building my own life experience storytelling. What I like about the book that we created, it's somewhat different. Talks about my upbringing as a Asian American, Chinese American in America. My parents, my uncles, my aunts came to America, and they in the 1970s, 80s. I was the first person born and raised in America in my entire family. Then I had a lot of cousins that was born after. So I'm kind of stuck in between old school and new school. So it's about traditional mentality. So I bring up some of the obstacles I had growing up and understanding my identity, trying to understand the Eastern ways of Asia and trying to understand the Western ways of America and how to bring them both together and succeed. So I think there's a lot of things in Eastern society in the world that is amazing, but doesn't work in the West. And there are many things in the West that is really different, that really, really helps us in life that the East is not understanding. So what's cool about it is both our audiences, some are in Asia, some are in America. My book hopefully will bring both together so that we understand each other and we can continue to excel in life.
Right. Can we ask all our audience to do one thing? Our fans, can you please give us some likes so that this podcast, this Facebook live chat can go on, spread out a bit bigger, and the algorithm of Facebook work this way. If you give us some likes, then this live show will go out to more people with like-minded people. So, okay, so let's get more people to actually react to us, and so that we will have a bigger audience, all right? Okay, so let's answer some questions before we go into podcasts and go into seminars. Rick, can we do that?
Sure.
Right. So let's just answer the first question. Now, Esther asked, I wonder, you read one book at a time or a few books at the same time? Rick, you want to take that?
Great question, Esther. So my habit is every single day, my wife calls me boring. I practically live my day in repeat cycle. Wake up very similar time every morning. My breakfast routine is the same. My workout is the same, my shower, then have my meetings. I always end the day by trying to read at least 10 pages a day, And I'm very OCD because I'm really good at memorizing and remembering things, but for some reason, some of my short-term memory is not the best. So what I do is I only read one book at a time. And sometimes as I read those 10, 20 pages a night, I go back to the night before, reread some of those pages. I make indentation into the pages, write some notes, however I learn from it. And I like to pause and read after a few pages and try to understand the author, the content, the story, and try to relate to it and try to think of similarities and how, if I was in that position, how I would perceive or act. So I do read only one book at a time. I do not read multiple books.
Yeah, I don't read multiple books as well. Now, before the day of ebooks and audiobooks, I read physical books, just like What Is This? But currently, I don't really read that many of the physical books anymore because I listen to audiobooks more. So what I do is that every day when I work out, when I go out for a walk for 1 hour, every day I do this. I'll wake up about 7 o'clock, go out and give an hour walk. During that hour walk, I'll put on my AirPods, and from my phone, I can actually listen to all these audiobooks, all right? So when before, I will actually do, as you say, 10 pages. Now, one of the way to actually improve your habit of reading is to actually try to start baby steps. How? Let me just take this question as well. somebody asked, now the reading habits. I don't have a habit of reading. How do we? So I'm going to answer this question. How do we build the habit? So one of the way you can actually start building a reading habit is that every night before you go to sleep, you start with 1 page a night. 1 page. Do it for 7 days. Then next week you do 2 pages a night. So instead of reading your Facebook, try to read a real book, okay? You do 2 pages a night, and you do it for 1 week. Then the next week you do 3 pages a night. Then you do it in 1 week. It is actually a habit. Then you go on and so forth. So by the end of the year, you'll be surprised you'll be reading 52 pages of a book in one night. And just imagine how many pages have you read in that year and how many books have you gone through in that year. And I tell you, the changes of reading, if you continue to learn and read, the changes that you experience as a person is amazing. Okay? I am still reading and I'm still learning every day. Okay? So that is how you actually build a habit. Rick, you have anything to say about that?
Sure. Brandon, I would also encourage, if you don't have a good habit of reading, set daily reminders, create an environment that reminds your mind to always do it. Like, why do we not need to remind ourselves to brush our teeth in the morning and brush our teeth at night and floss? Why do we not need to remind ourselves certain things that we do on a daily basis? So what I used to, when I was a managing director and I wanted some of my advisors to build really good, strong habits for growth and development, I would say, can I see your phone? And then most of the time they would have pictures on the background screen, whether it's a house, a car, their family members, a background that gives them whatever type of a feeling. I just say, hey, why don't you just write on a Post-it things that you are supposed to do, whether it's your 12 months goal, your amazing future, or something. And then they take a picture of that Post-it, and every day my advisors would do 3 things on that Post-it, whether it's read 10 pages, whether it's exercise, whether it's being generous, whether it's thinking about work related. Did they process applications? Did they ask for referrals? Did they do their dials? Whatever it may be, those are habits I used to create. And it's really simple. Set an alarm, right? Maybe every night before you go to bed. I generally read every night before I go to bed because I like to read before I go to bed. But I know friends of mine like to read immediately first thing when they wake up. Friends of mine like to do yoga first thing when they wake up. So it's just creating a habit that it's almost second nature to you.
Yeah. Thanks, Rick. So the next question, I would like to also know, when is your reading time? Rick, you just answered that right before you sleep. Now, I have a very different reading and learning time. As I say, early in the morning when I walk 1 hour, when I travel between appointments, those are what we call the automobile university time. This is when you are stuck in the car, when you are driving, you can actually play a podcast, play an audiobook, and start learning. YouTube has a huge what do you call this, reservoir of good things to listen to. MDRT Malaysia YouTube channel has more than 300 videos that you can play in the car while you go and listen to it audio. Why? Because MDRT Malaysia, you doesn't really have to look at the speakers every day, right? Every time, right? You just have to listen to what he says. So MDRT Malaysia has about 320 videos. By the time you finish MDRT Malaysia, 9 years of content in our YouTube channel, you'll be somebody in this business. So I will do walks, travel time, and before I sleep. This is 3 times. And also toilet, yeah. 4 different times that I actually read and learn. Okay, so let us pick more another question. So Sofian Bongsu asked the same question just now. We have answered. Okay, so now there is one question that I need to address. I think it's by Sadiq. How do you build a reading time? Okay. Okay, Charles here. Charles Chong asked where to get an audiobook.
Let me,
Rick,
you want to take it or I take it?
I'll just do it in Malaysian context. How do you, okay, in Malaysia, how do you actually get an audiobook? There is a few ways you can do it. You have the legal, the illegal, and the gray way. I'm not going to talk about the gray and the illegal way. I'm just going to talk the legal way. One of them is called Audible. You can actually download the software. It's called Audible. Audible has an array of amazing audiobooks that you can actually read. You can actually listen to. Now, I found another way which is free. Would you like to know, Charles? It's called YouTube. You just type in audiobooks in YouTube, and there will be tons of audiobook section out that you can actually listen to on YouTube. John Maxwell, Dale Carnegie. I think most of the books that you mentioned there, Rick, it is actually available on YouTube for free. Now, is it legal? I don't think so. But it's on YouTube. So, I think it's legal. You know, if it's illegal, YouTube will put it down. So, some of the way you can do this is by Audible or through YouTube. The illegal way, you can ask somebody else, okay? Now, Rick, would you want to say anything about audiobooks?
I use an app called Blinkist. I believe if you're an American Express Gold, Platinum, Black member, it's actually free because I actually get these emails and they give us all these different subscriptions or benefits as a consumer. So many years ago, I used to listen to different audiobooks, but Blinkist is good because it's a summary of audiobooks. So what I do is I would bike every day. As you guys may know or heard from previous talk shows, Peloton bike saved my health because during the lockdown, COVID-19, I hate biking, but I love to run. I used to go to a gym, but because I couldn't, I ordered a Peloton bike. And every day while I'm biking 5 to 10 miles every single day, I just listen to Blinkist. I drive my kids to daycare sometimes, pick them up. I listen to Blinkist. And I actually recently, from friends' advice, started using YouTube. Call me old school, but I didn't really use YouTube. I don't even have a YouTube account, but I started going to YouTube and I started watching videos. So there are days where I'm on my bike and I want to watch a YouTube show, a YouTube video, but they're all educational. I don't watch anything funny. I don't really watch TikTok stuff. Forgive me if you guys are fans, but I really am so intentional with my time. So I really just listen to Blinkist, YouTube, watch videos. And then recently I had a friend, he made fun of me, he called me really, really old school, or actually he called me a loser. He says, Rick, have you ever heard of Instagram? And I said, of course I've heard of Instagram. He's like, no, you haven't. You have no friends on Instagram. You're such a lonely person. So he dared me, and I do not like to be dared. I do not like to be challenged. He dared me to start an Instagram page. And now I'm actually, Instagram, there's really no content that I enjoy. But I also sometimes look at Instagram for whether it's specific clips that are useful.
So you have a challenge, right, Rick, with this guy about Instagram. You want to tell us about it?
Yeah, sure. So recently, what I love to do is really motivate, inspire, and when my friends or teams do really well in their career, I like to celebrate. So he had a really good year the last 12 months. So I said, hey, let's go out and have dinner and let's have drinks. And this was a few weeks ago. And then when we were having dinner and drinks, he said to me, he's like, hey, Rick, and with a few drinks in his body, he's like, Rick, can I tell you something? And I was like, sure, tell me whatever you want. He was like, hey, the last 12 months, I really grew my business because I work with a lot of YouTube influencers, Instagram, and all these different social media people. I'm like, that's incredible. And he's like, yeah, many of them are 25 to 35 years old, some even younger, and they make millions of dollars, US dollars a year. I was like, that's incredible. Wow. They really understood that platform, and I'm really happy for them and for you. And I think they're in great hands having you as an advisor. So I was like really happy for him, and we're having a good time. And he's like, can I tell you something? I was like, what's that? He's like, why do you not have any of it? And then I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, you need to get into society. So I was like, I do have social media. I have a Facebook and I have a LinkedIn. He was like, there's so much more in life. And then he challenged me to go on Instagram. So my Instagram picture is actually of my kids. So he made a bet. and I'm going to lose a bet, and I hate to lose bets. He says, in 30 days, you have to have 1,000 friends on Instagram. And I was like, 1,000? I'm going to have 10,000 because I have over 1,000 friends on Facebook, and I have over 1,000 friends on LinkedIn. And then I went on Instagram, and everyone that I spoke to about this said it was a sucker's bet. I'm going to lose. So I have approximately 5 or 6 days left. And 5 or 6 days later, if I don't have 1,000, it's okay. But it was a fun bet. I'm learning and understanding Instagram, and I'm going to start building content for Instagram. Not that I know how to do it, but I'm going to figure it out. So that's the bet.
So what do you want to do for you? Would you want to win the
nothing.
bet?
I don't know. I don't know if the social media platform in Asia is that big. I don't even know if you guys have Instagram.
We all have Instagram. Rick, just tell us
really?
what is your Instagram account.
I am 10 years behind.
What is your Instagram account, Rick?
Oh, it's Rick_HU_Midas Wealth. Rick_HU_Midas Wealth. I'm still figuring it out. I made one post. It's about my kids, our summer day. But what I'm going to do after I finish my book, or as I'm continuing to progress in my book, I'm going to have updates on my book on that Instagram page. And I'm also going to possibly do, oh, you added me. Great. Yeah, I'm going to also start doing maybe weekly contents once the book is completed, and we're going to have fun with Instagram because I think there's a lot of things on Instagram that's really powerful. So I was not familiar with certain things, and that's about me learning and getting better, like many of the audience members.
So for all the guys out there, if you like Rick and you like our content, you can actually like Rick Midas Wealth on his Instagram and help him win the bet. So if you like his Instagram, Rick will give you a book. Ebook copy.
I will build an ebook instantly.
Okay.
But how about this? If I do win the bet, I think I'm at like 100 followers or friends. I have to get to 1,000 in 6 days. And then I was like reading on how to get to 1,000 in a short period of time. I'm not going to do it, but it has to do with having less clothes on me. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it. Winners don't cheat. I'm going to do it with integrity. But if I do win, I will make a commitment to all my audience. I will do a content every single week. You guys asked me a question because as I was looking at these Instagram, I realized that a lot of their audiences, they ask a question, and I never knew this, but I can go on Instagram and record a 2-minute clip video and answer people's questions. I answer content, which I thought is really, really cool. So I don't do that on Facebook Live besides this show. I don't really do it on LinkedIn, but I plan on after the book is complete or during the book, I'm going to actually do weekly contents on Instagram Live that will be helpful, that will empower, motivational, whether it's content about our industry, about life, about anything. So I'm excited, but with 100 friends, I'm like, less excited. If there was more audience that's interested in the content, let me know. And I don't know if you guys can message me, say, hey, Rick, I want this topic. I will give and try to be a selfless servant to our friends.
So now a lot of people is following you, Rick. I'm just asking whether they are following me or not.
Excuse me?
Are they following me? So I'm going to put my Instagram. It's called, I have no clue. Oh, it's called Limran Live. I don't know why I did that. Okay, my Instagram is called Limran Live. You can actually help me to follow me as well. Can you guys help to follow me? When you follow Rick, follow me as well. All right, we're going to do content. Thanks.
We'll do content. We'll do more weekly contents. Yes.
Yeah. How can I actually, what is my profile name? Oh, my username. Sorry, my profile name is it using my IG? I have no clue, man. Totally. Sorry. Right. So let's answer the next question.
We'll find out and we'll post it later on in the page for everyone too.
Okay.
I think because I had a friend that was in Asia. He messaged me and he was like, "Hey, we love your top of the table talk show." And he says, you guys are doing it once a month, end of the last Friday. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard, especially when you have young kids and family. He's like, can you guys do it weekly? And I was like, if I do it weekly, then I'd probably be divorced and have my kids leave me. But he was like, oh, but then I thought about Instagram, and maybe instead of waiting for an hour and a half once a month, you and I can possibly use our Instagram and maybe do 2-minute questions, 2-minute answers on a weekly basis. It'd be fun. Like I could be on the bike and I could be recording and I'll just answer a question. So we're going to have fun. And I feel like today's world, social media is so powerful and it can really get us connected and stay connected, especially we can't see each other face to face.
Yeah. So I have a short video thing that goes on every day. It's called Gratitude, Daily Gratitude, where I show shorts, ideas, and short pops out of ideas and advice and also things that I do in life that makes me very efficient. So I do share that every day. And you guys, if you guys want to actually enrich your life and just go ahead and subscribe to Liberated Life, just click like, follow the page, like the page, and you get everyday daily gratitude every day. We will post it about 6:30 in the morning, and you get it every morning. And then before you go to work, just watch it for a minute or two, and it teach you something that you need to do today to make yourself better. Okay? So now let's just go to the questions. All right, Rick? All right?
Yes.
Can we just answer one more question? Mr. Manmohan is asking, reading is important as it can be, but with the current pandemic situation, what is the best book or books to read? Rick, you want to
I
do
can
that?
take it out right now. You want to see
Yes.
it?
You go ahead.
My wife made me read this book when we had kids. It's called How to Not Die. How to Not Die. But I'm kidding. But this book is a New York Times bestseller. It talks really about healthy eating, diets, because I would tell you this, during this pandemic, at least for me, I think most people are not going to come out of this pandemic the same. It's either they're going to be less or more. I recently saw a good friend of mine, and I went to high school with him. He was a groomsman in my wedding. I saw him on FaceTime, and I'll tell you this, I could not recognize him. COVID-19 was definitely not friendly to him, okay? What I mean by that is he did not have good habits, whether it's physical, whether it's diet, whether it's, and that's just me teasing him. But realistically, during this pandemic, I think I like to read a lot of mental books, a lot of mind books, and also spiritual books and things like that.
Right. So for me, to answer Mr. Mohan's question, okay, I don't read any books that is suggesting to the current pandemic. But yet again, for the last 1 year, for the last 6 months to 8 months, I've been doing a lot of leadership reading, a lot. I read at least 4 to 6 books. I think it's 6 books from John C. Maxwell, the famous leadership guru. I read his 21 indispensable leadership quality. I recently is reading the 15 laws of leadership, and I'm reading quite a lot of his book in audio form and also in physical form. Why? Why am I reading leadership book? Because during this pandemic, I've sort of like lost some direction. You know, when the first wave hit, I lost my direction, and when June came, then we sort of picked ourselves, and I had the best year ever last year. So why am I reading the leadership book? Because number one, I am building a team. I am building an insurance agency. I'm building a company. I'm building a team. That is why I'm learning to be a better leader every day. All right. So, and leadership books does gives you a hint and an insight to how to think out of the box. Not as a follower. If you think like a follower, you know, you're waiting for the divine voice to tell you what to do, right? But as a leader, you need to think out of the box, to think and to do things differently, to bring your people out of the situation. So that is why, if you ask me, Mr. Mohan, I think reading some leadership books will actually help you get out of the pandemic, get out of the situation. Well, of course, the world is not going to be the same, but we can change. The world is not going to be the same, but we also can change by reading books that is interesting to us. Now, during last year's pandemic, I just want to share the last book that I read. This is very interesting. Nobody actually read this, but I do read this. Surrounded by Idiots. Right, by Thomas Erickson. This is about DISC. Do you know the character personality thing about DISC, dominant, influencer, and all that? This book actually scientifically breaks it down and tell you the different personalities of people and how you handle their personality. And I thought this is amazing in helping me to do two things. Number one, in handling different type of clients' personality, I can be very accurate in handling what they want by adjusting myself to suit that personality and not getting angry with that guy, if he's, last time I thought he's been ridiculous, but now I know that is just his personality, right? We just have to adjust ourselves to suit that, and make him happy. That's it. But the second thing is more important is now I can recognize a person's personality and then recruit an agent according to the personality that suits the team. So this book has helped us a lot. And every agent that joins my team has to go through what we call a personality test, so that we make sure that his personality is that kind that we want. All right? So every leader has a different kind of thing with personality. So my choice might not be yours. Yours might not be mine. So it's fine. Right? So that is that. So and from recruitment, I just want to go to this. Now, Rick, you've been building agency for many years. How to attract and recruit the right candidate to form your own team? Rick, you want to answer that?
Sure. Well, in my 14 years career, 7 of those years, I was a managing director of a Fortune 500 financial service company in the United States. 25 years old, 6 years, recruited over 100 people. And the strategy I use, there isn't really any strategy besides being your authentic self, I think to be a good, strong leader and attract the right people, you must have attraction power. Are you positive or are you negative? If you're a negative leader, no one's coming near you. As a matter of fact, when I see someone from afar and I can sense negativity or I can see it in their face, I walk a different direction. So being a strong, good leader, it's very important for you to have attraction power. Now, you also want to attract the right people. So we used to do a very, very intensive 4-step interview process. During the interview process, we tried to understand people's personalities, if it's a right fit or not, and things like that. So when it comes to recruiting and attracting the right people, I try to just lead by example. I treat every one of them as family members. I treat them like how my parents treated me, and where I felt that authenticity and love. And I actually also treat them like how I wish my parents treated me, whether it's being recognized. I recognize them for their hard work, their efforts. I hold them accountable. I am honest. I believe in them, and I oftentimes write down their goals. And I say, hey, you told me by the end of this year, you and your family are going to go to Disney World. Did you book your tickets yet? And they're like, oh my God, I totally forgot about it. Actually, that's not cool because you told me it's important, so I think it's important, so you better do it. Otherwise, I would never believe in anything you ever say again because you are a person that lacks integrity. So I used to just have fun. And what I really love to do is celebrate. So actually, Lim, as I share with you in conversation, next month, I'm taking our entire team to the Dominican Republic. We had our best year ever. During the pandemic, we were all working from home. So next month in July, during this Top of the Table talk show, I actually will be in the Dominican Republic, but I will be part of the show. I just might be in a different background, and I'm really excited, but you might see some of my team members, you may not, but it really depends. But what I like to do to recruit and attract the right people, you also have to recognize them, and you have to celebrate. I would tell you this, when I was a leader, I never looked at my financials, ever. My wife would be like, hey, I would bring my team, younger teams. I brought my team to like Mexico, to various countries, to various places. And I just had fun. I never thought about myself first. I thought about them. But I think when it comes to recruiting and attracting the right talent, having fun. This business is not easy. It's not hard, but it's about celebrating.
Great advice, Rick. Thanks. So let me just answer Brandon's question. This book, correct, Brandon? Business Keyman Insurance, right? You want this? All right, go get it from Vincent Chi. Call that guy. I think he's a bit old. I don't know whether he's still around. I think he's still around. So sorry, because I haven't seen him for years. Call Vincent Chi. The number is up. Thank you, Adrian Wong, for putting up Vincent Chi's number. This guy has been in the insurance world selling books for many, many years. And I do have another guy who actually asked me, Hazel actually asked me about the book with Ong Eugene. I think this one, you can actually get it from public bookstore. Popular bookstore. All right? Popular bookstore. Okay? So screenshot it if you can. Go back later on to get it. Okay? So we got some more questions that we need to answer. Right? Thanks, Rick, about building agency. You know, I have a lot that I need to learn from you. Okay? So let's just answer a few more questions. So I'm going to answer this question by Sadiq. Do you really spend too much time in the toilet to read? Not really lah, you know, the usual thing, okay? The usual thing. 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night, that's about it. Right? It's a fun question Well, you know, I've been in a Airbnb house in UK. The toilet is a library. I was in the house. You're sitting on your throne. In front of you, there's a book rack. At the back, there's a book rack. On the side, there's a book rack. The only part that has no book rack is the bathtub. There's no book rack there. Everywhere is like a book rack of books, you know. It's like a library. So that's quite interesting. You spend more time inside, you know. Right. Now, I'm going to put out Vincent Chi's number again. You guys can pick it up, all right? Now, Esther Hu is asking a very interesting question. Now, Tan Kim Fang, before I forget, Kim Fang, how to buy the books? Amazon, Vincent Chi, Popular Bookstore, and
MDRT.
MDRT, yes, MDRT.org, okay? Right. Now, okay, Esther is asking, the latest book that you're reading now, and share one point from the book. Rick, go ahead.
Great. So these 10 books that I just showed you, I'm not reading it right now, but if I was to start reading from day one, I remember my first book I ever read, and since our audience is Asian, or most are Asian, I'm going to have fun. Have you guys ever heard of low food tea?
Oh, yeah.
I remember low food tea was amazing to me, and I used to read it on the train with my parents. And then when I was younger and I learned Chinese, I used to watch Xing Yu Donghua Long. I think that's the way you say it. It's amazing. It's a panda. And I learned my Chinese, and I learned a lot of these just stories. But the book I'm reading today, these are the first 10 books I would read if I was going to start all over, and help build my mindset and help build my career and my goal setting. But the book I'm reading today is called 10X. I finished reading 10X. Your Next 5 Moves. Your Next 5 Moves by Patrick Bet-David. That's a very good book. Patrick Bet-David is actually in the financial service industry. He's an insurance CEO of his own company. But Your Next 5 Moves, he talks about how in life, we all have 5 moves that determine the outcome. So it's like an analogy he uses, like a chess game, right? Did you know that
again,
depending on how you move, I'm sorry?
It's called what? The book is called what again? The Next 5 Big.
Your next 5 Move by Patrick Bet-David. That's the book I'm reading right now. So in life, it's like a chess game. Many things you do is like a chess game. Like, I'll give you an example, an analogy when I met my wife. If I met my wife and I said, hi, I'd like to go on a date, take you out to dinner, first date, and then after many years, then I ask her, would you marry me? Or I could go, would you marry me on the first date? Obviously, the outcome would probably be different. She'll think I'm a psychopath. She'll probably think I'm weird, and she'll probably not marry me. Oh, for some reason. Oh, I think we're having a little storm. The energy ran out. So my light just changed. Sorry about that. But Your Next 5 Moves is a really good book. And one other thing I picked up from it, every step you take, the outcome will determine what happens by those next 5 moves. That's number one. Number two, I also learned that surround yourself with positive people. And positive people can be many different type of people. You might think it's always your friends and your family. Absolutely not true. How many times, and in my book, I'm going to talk about it, how many times have our family members told us we can do anything we want to achieve in life? But then the problem is they teach us the same things everyone is taught, when we're all unique and we're all different. And how many times, especially growing up in my Asian family, I don't know about everyone else, how many times when life gets hard, they said, no, it's too hard, son. It's too hard, daughter. Maybe you should do something different. They try to protect us. And I don't believe in that. When my kids fall down sometimes at the playground, I remember, like, I would see my family member, my father or my mother, run to my kids and try to pick them up quickly. When my kids fall down, I say, honey, get up, get up. I watch them slowly get up. So, and that book is really interesting because sometimes your friends, your family member can help you, or they can actually not help you. Because if you don't surround yourself with good, strong people in life, and you're going to start growing. And what you're going to realize as you continue to advance in life, you're going to realize that some people will help you get better, and some people will help you may not get better. So it's about evolving or dissolving. It's about evolving in life and dissolving in life.
Right. So let me answer. Thank you, Rick. Next 5 book, the next 5 moves, I'm going to buy the audiobook. All right. So what am I reading right now? Currently, I'm actually reading Essentialism again to remind myself. But I'm also reading the Leadership, the 11 Essential Changes Every Leader Must Embrace by John C. Maxwell. It is in the audiobook form. I can only show you this. Can you see that? I'm on chapter 5 now. So let me just share one thing with you. John C. Maxwell is an amazing guy. He puts everything in context and is very, very organized. So one thing he shared today is about growth, and it is about inner growth compared to outer growth. So a lot of us, when you think you want to do MDRT, COT, TOT, those are what we call an outer growth. It is something outside of you. That is a result of an inner growth. A lot of times we focus so much on the outer growth that we neglected our inner growth. That is not what MDRT taught us. MDRT taught us to have a whole person concept. You grow overall. So John C. Maxwell taught me something today. It's called the inner growth. When you focus on your inner growth, when you focus on yourself, and when you focus on growing your brain, growing yourself mentally and all that, the outer growth will come. So let me give you an example. I was trying to do COT about 4 or 5 years ago, caught off the table. And there's 1 year I did so well that I was like 100,000 short, right? And, you know, somehow away, some people, you know, there's 1 or 2 guys actually came and asked me, tell me, you know what, Brendan, you should take out your own money and buy a policy for yourself and qualify the call of the table. I was about 50,000 short. I have that 50,000 ringgit to buy a policy for myself, but I refused. I told them, if I'm not ready, I'm not ready. I'm not going to do it for the outer growth, for just the name of COT. And I say, if I'm ready, I'm ready. I will do call of the table. So the next year, call of the table came naturally. Then when I was doing my TOT last year, it was a surprise. Because why? I did not actually, I wanted to go for it, but my results and all that was building towards it. But it was at the last day of the year that I actually completed. It is the inner growth that I was reading throughout the pandemic and all that. I was learning, I was growing, I was shifting, that actually led to the outer growth. So what I'm trying to say is this. Read, it changes your mindset, it changes your paradigm, it gives you a paradigm shift from one place to the next, okay? So that is my take on the book that I read recently. It's called, it's Leadership by John C. Maxwell, okay? So let us just pick up some more questions. Yeah. Esther is so kind to actually put it down already there for us, the leadership, okay? So we got some more questions from Sadiq Derani. This is for you, Rick. Can you share how Peloton Workout helped you and how fitness affect your productivity? This is way off our topic. Rick, you want to take up that
Sure.
question?
Sorry about the power. The lighting just changed. I was trying to set it back up, but yeah, Sadiq. Just imagine my environment every single day. I have 3 kids that are under 4 years old. 90% of the time when I wake up and they're awake, I hear crying. So I need to find an environment of peace. So Peloton Workout helped me because I've always worked out maybe 3 to 5 times a week. In the past, if you saw me when I was 22, 23 years old, I used to be 200 pounds, 5'7". I wasn't the healthiest. But over time, I wanted to improve. I don't know if I shared this with the audience, but one of my goals is to live to 100 years old. One of my goals is to live to 100 years old. It's not just about business goals. It's just not about personal or financial goals. It's about living to 100. So I used to start working out 3 to 5 times a week. But during COVID, when the gyms are shut down, I couldn't work out anymore. And then just getting the Peloton bike, every morning I bike. Every morning I bike, or every night I bike. I remember one time I went out to dinner with my friend, and this is how obsessive I am. We went out to dinner, and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to bike today because the kids woke up early. And what happened, it was 10:30 at night. We were having dinner in Manhattan, and we were having a few drinks and having steak. And then I said, hey, do you mind if we wrap it up? And he was like, why? I was like, I need to get back home from where we were at dinner to my house. It was an hour away. I need to get home by 11:30 at night, and then I need to do a 30-minute bike ride. If I hit traffic and I don't do it, I'm going to kill myself because mentally I feel like I failed that day. So it gives me accountability. Every single day there are things I must do. Biking is one of those things. So as long as I, wake up every morning when I drop off my kids or I see my kids, I say I love you, I kiss them, which I never got growing up. So those are things in the East that you guys probably experienced. The things in the West are different. And every day I have to bike. Every day I have to do certain things to keep myself sane, sanity. But it's good, strong habits, especially physical health. And it releases endorphins that after a bike ride, no matter how tired you are, after that bike ride or after a good workout, you feel so different. You feel so different.
Right. Thank you. Rick, I need to do that more often. Today I didn't run. It's my rest day. I shouldn't feel bad, right? Tomorrow I'll run. Okay. Now I just put out a podcast, a link for what I listen to. Podcast John C. Maxwell Leadership Podcast. Please have a look at it. Sadiq say thank you, Rick. Sadiq is also a biker, biking freak. He bikes like 300 kilometers a day. Crazy guy. You guys will be good friends, right? And Sadiq is going to the TOT annual meeting, Rick.
And so will I. I've qualified for TOT. I think this is my second or third year. I've never attended there physically. But Sadiq, Lim, if you guys go, I will go. I
am buying my ticket. Okay. Right.
You keep reminding me. I think that's the same weekend of my birthday. That means I can't celebrate my birthday with my wife and my kids. I will hang out with you guys. So as long as you guys remind me and my wife gives me the blessing because she's the CEO of the family, then I will definitely be there.
Don't worry. We'll buy something back from Florida for her, all right? So this is the podcast link that you can do for John C. Maxwell podcast. This is something I read and I listen to nearly daily. And I also have another podcast that I want to share with you. It's called Michael Hyatt. I use his diary, the Full Focus Planner. It was recommended to me by Brian Hackett, and I've been using it for 1.5, 2 years now. And the journaling experience is amazing, and I think you guys should learn from Michael Hyatt. Michael Hyatt, clicks on it and go into the podcast and learn from Michael Hyatt, okay? Buy his journaling book, is fine. Now, the last one is also Michael Hyatt, is Focus on Me. So it's about 10 o'clock. I have to let them see all this before we go. This is for me as well. Podcast, Apple Podcast, Focus on This is from Michael Hyatt as well. This is where I learn most of my things. All right?
I'm going to give the audience one more book.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Rick, go ahead.
Since you guys like to talk about technical skills, this book is really, really good. I would highly, strongly recommend it. It's called Nick Murray, The Game of Numbers. Nick Murray, The Game of Numbers. If you guys don't subscribe to his subscription. He has emails. It's very, very good. Nick Murray, The Game of Numbers. Anything by Nick Murray is very helpful. He's a financial service professional. He's a leader. He's a legend. I would strongly encourage it, especially if you're in the insurance, investment, financial planning industry. Nick Murray.
All right. So, okay, before we go, we have 2 more minutes. Before we go, Rick, can we ask our audience to give us 3 topics that you want us to talk about next month, so that we can actually present those topics to you? You can actually freely write in the group chat. We'll look at it. The one that has the most likes, we will actually talk about it, okay? So tell us, what do you want us to talk about next week? Please type it in so that we know, okay? Now, it is a bit of a last minute, but I think everybody is gonna be interested to want to know what is going on. Now, we have 2 more minutes. We're going to talk about seminars, right? Now, for all the MDRTs and all the people out there, when the company organizes a MDRT seminar for you, please attend. When your local country organizes a MDRT day for you, please attend. And when you're an MDRT member, when you qualify the first time as MDRT, please spend 15% of your annual income and go to America, attend the annual meeting in America. All right? It's not going to be 15% of your income now. Flights nowadays are quite cheap already. So if you can attend the virtual meeting, please attend. My advice to you is that I grew to become who I am because of MDRT, because I learned a lot during the annual meeting. And this year, the annual meeting is amazing. One tip I learned from the annual meeting that strikes me the most is the thing called the third space. Do you know what is a third space, Rick?
No, tell me more.
Right. So the first space is more of like your family space, your home. Okay? Then our second space is the work for most adults, right? The workspace. Then the third space is in between your family and your work. A lot of people goes to the office, became a warrior at work, kills everybody in the office, and comes back continue to kill the family. Because he never toned down to the family level and went home. His brain, his behavior, it is still that monster in the office. Right? Most bosses does that. I used to do that, you know. And the third space teaches techniques to go into a third space or a space of time before you reach home. You go through this process to tone yourself down, to be with your family, and do not kill emotionally your family members, becoming a tornado inside the house. And that is interesting. And I learned that, the third space. You know? You learn one thing.
That's great.
And then you build on that. Esther has all the questions that you want. Okay, please give us some more questions. Give us some more topics that you want to talk about next month so that we can actually bring it to you, all right? Love to hear how you plan your retirement for yourself and your clients. Ooh, this is interesting.
That's easy. That's easy and interesting, and it's fun. But every month, Esther is setting up our topics. So I challenge the audience to challenge Esther by coming up with really creative topics so that. And if you like those topics, smash the like button for whoever comes up with it. It's really cool that you guys ask us questions that can help advance your career.
Yeah. Okay. So it is 10 o'clock, and we are going to end the show very soon. Thank you so much for coming, Rick. It is so ever interesting to talk to you. Now, next month, let's invite another top of the table member to come in the show, right? And make it fun.
Sure.
Right? Sure. So Sadiq, if you're listening, Sadiq Dirani, if you're listening, that's you. Okay.
Forgive me, guys, next month. But next month, I'm going to be in a different setting. In advance, I'm going to be in Dominican Republic. But hopefully, the Wi-Fi at the hotel will be strong. I'm going to bring my work laptop, and we're going to have fun.
No problem. Bro, I want to see you in your party pants and your beach shirts, okay?
I'm good. Yeah, sure. I'll be ready.
and show your team to us so that they can see that. Hi, that will be fun.
I think it's too early for them, because if we're going to party every day there, it might be too early our show. But look forward to next month and the topic and being a part of the show.
Show us the sunrise in Dominican Republic, okay?
Okay, we'll do.
Okay. So
All right,
thank you
everyone.
so much, Rick, for coming in, and thank you guys for coming in. And Sadiq Dirani, if you are there, I'm telling you, you are coming to the show next month, and we will take you in. All right, Sadiq. So thanks. I say, Sadiq asked, what did you say? I say, Sadiq, next month you're coming to the show and become our guest. Okay. I talked to you about this about 2 days ago, right, Sadiq? He's playing dumb now. All right. So, all right, have fun in Dominican Republic with your team. People say, Brandon said, have fun. Thank you guys. Thank you for coming in, and I'll see you guys next month. Bye.
Take care. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.